Euthanasia News.
It's so nice to have you on this week's episode of Youth Weekly. Youth Weekly is your weekly news bulletin that brings to you a summary of stories that happened in the course of the week, but uniquely in the language and perspective of young people. My name is Sandra Ikiri.
And my name is Success Ekpeyon. Here are some of the news that made the headlines during the week. 6 years single tenure. Rep disagrees with Senate.
June 12 changed Nigeria's history, Jonathan admits.
Opposition parties apply for registration as APC.
Federal government warns civil servants against private practice.
2015 will make it better than 2011 polls, INEC.
Fashola signs cremation bill into law.
Military rule has gone forever in Nigeria, Mark.
Banks frustrating access to 450 billion naira agric fund, agric minister.
Port security, US gives Nigeria 90-day ultimatum.
Inflation to drop to 8.89%.
Tutu joins prayers as Mandela battles for life.
On the entertainment scene, on a sad note, Pa Fatai Willing Dollar is dead. Also in a similar development, national anthem composer Benedict Odease is dead. These were some of the major issues that occurred in the course of the week. Join us shortly as we engage in insightful discussion on some of these headlines. However, this week's episode of Youth Weekly promises to be interesting because we'll have a special guest in the house, an author, a writer, and a blogger. Stay with us, don't go away.
Youth Weekly, Euthanasia News.
The National Assembly is moving the motion for a 6-year term for the president and governors. As a young political aspirant, what do you think?
Well, the 6-year single-term tenure is not a bad idea at all. But I think it's we should think more about the issue of what the intention of those that are moving the motion is. Okay, if it's for a fresh aspirant who is just coming on the scene as president or governor, fantastic, 6-year tenure is good. But you know, it's not the number of years that really matters, it's the competence of the person. Some people will still not be able to do what they ought to do with that 6-year tenure. Meanwhile, some other persons, if given 4 years, will still do what they have to do. But the idea of the 6-year single-term tenure will remove all the issues of preparing for election, sentiments that come with 4-year tenure and wanting to do a second term, and all those logistics.
If this bill is to be passed, what do you look forward to seeing in Nigeria?
If this bill is passed, and some fresh person who is competent. Don't forget, it's not the number of years that determines whether the person is going to perform or not. It is whether the person actually has capacity to perform, is firm enough, has training, and has the desire and commitment to pull the nation out of these murky waters to where we are supposed to be. Okay, so I am hopeful that if we go ahead with the 6-year single-term tenure.
The number of years you spend in government is not a criteria that you will do well as a political leader. Even if you have 4 years, if you have a vision, if you have a plan, once you get into the office, you already know what you came there to do. You start working immediately. So whether you have 4 years, 8 years, 6 years, the elongation is not the problem. It's the leader, it's the leadership, the person. What do you want to achieve? Even if we give you 10 years, what you couldn't achieve in 4 years, you can't achieve it.
So basically what you're saying is that the duration of one's tenure has nothing to do with it.
Yes. Okay, just like Fashola, in his first tenure, he was able to do a lot of things.
Youth Weekly, Euthanasia News.
You're welcome back to the program. It's still Youth Weekly, and here we're in our discussion segment. Sandra is still very much with me, and we're going to talk about one or two of the headlines as you've heard today. For me, I really want to share from the recent celebration of the 20th anniversary of the June 12th story. How that Abiola, won the election, according to people, and then it was annulled by, the then president, head of state of the
series of riots in Lagos.
But the beauty of this is, and I think this is what Nigerians are trying to celebrate, that was a time when Nigerians came out in mass to say, see, we are tired of coup plots and coups. We're tired of suffering. We're tired of the status quo. We're tired of ups and downs and wars. It's like that was the point they came to understand, that we can decide for our future. We can decide what happens in this country. And they came out, even though there were two Muslims there, religion at that point did not count.
It wasn't the basis for
Christians voted for people and all that. We saw the nation strong.
As one.
And even after the annulment, people fought to see how this, justice could take its place in that very election.
That's why it's still fresh in the hearts and minds of people, whether you were told, whether you read it, whether you just learned about it. I feel that's one of the major reasons why it's still fresh in the hearts of people. And I think we can relate this to what happened in 2011 when we came out to vote for our President Jonathan. We came out to vote for fresh air. I really enjoyed that period because I saw a great change.
You came to vote for fresh air.
I came to vote and I'm enjoying the fresh air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I just want to tell you what I noticed in the last election because I feel there are some, related factors between 1993 and 2011. First of all, there was mass participation. People came out in their numbers to vote. In my immediate environment, I was overwhelmed. People brought out mats, people were sitting. I have to come out like it's to the third day before I was able to vote. Young people had their phones, they were covering, they were reporting. People were monitoring. My neighbors had to come out with their radio sets, and had their paper and pen, writing out all the numbers being called out. By the different VCs across the country. So I was really, really, really impressed by last election.
Sandra, you're going to come up with you're going to tell me which headline really caught your attention after this. But these are some of the things I want to bring out here that happens in an ideal electoral process. People are allowed to massively participate. People are encouraged to participate. There is security. People's lives are secured at the polling booths. We're not expecting violence to come and overpower the security structure or network in that place. And all that. Their votes should be secured. And it should be inclusive. Okay, we should be able to see women coming out in mass to participate, young people participating,
disabled
people also participating. So this is actually what should happen.
Since we're talking about ideas, I think one major idea I want to say in 2015 is, uniformity in all polling centers. Now, talking about my headline of the week, I'll talk about the 6-year single term being proposed by the Senate. It's been a serious issue, a national issue. Everybody's talking about it. People have divergent views. Now, the Senate is actually saying that this would help strengthen democracy because once you know you have a single term, you will be able to come and give your best. You don't think of, you have a second chance. No, once you come first, you have to give it your best. And they're also saying that since we get to do election every 4 years, it creates a kind of social unrest because when you get to vote every 4 years, people are scared, people don't know what will happen, like security is a major issue. And then they also say that it creates tension in the political space. So that's why they are agitating for 6 years single term. But we have contradicting opinions. Like the Northern governor, the Northern elders are saying no, they don't agree with what the Senate is saying, that this has dictatorial tendencies. Because if you give someone a single year, the people don't have the, they wouldn't have the power to vote such person out. Because if you say this person can stay in office for as long as 6 years, and then the person doesn't get to deliver, and if unfortunately such person doesn't have the welfare of the citizens at heart, they can't vote such persons out. So they are really saying no, these people shouldn't pass this. This can't work. I don't know if you have any divergent view.
The reps are actually not, in fact, they are revolting. If they had their way, they will fight with National Assembly or the senators on this. Well, one of them said that it's like people will just come in and do what they like and leave. It's like you have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
that was
like
the very
a political ambition.
That was the very word he used. And people in Niger Delta, that one really amazes me. They are telling the Senate that whatever you do, make sure Jonathan comes back in 2015.
Whatever tenure they choose to implement.
But I think it's not about the time you spend in office.
Yes.
You spend 20 years in office and you're delivering, you're turning this country into a first world nation. See, for all Nigerian care, we will adjust, in fact, we will readjust the constitution so that you can keep being in power.
Yes.
You get that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But I appreciate what the National Assembly is doing right now, trying to ease the impeachment process such that when you misbehave, whether it was a 6 or 4 in two terms, you can be taken out of there. To let you know that place is not a permanent position,
But I was also thinking too, like time is not the primary factor for you to be able to give what you have. I feel we should be able to have a blueprint of whatever we want to give to our nation before we assume elective positions.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So I think people should begin to think of what they can give back.
Yes, it should be what you can deliver to us, not. I mean, if you're given 6 years, prepare your mind, make a difference. That's what matters most. If you're given two terms in 4 years or 4 years each, make a difference. I'm sure viewers, you have your opinions and your own. The debate is on, your own views on this matter. Reach forward to our Facebook page, drop your comments. Let's know what you think about this, because this is really serious in this country. Or follow us on our Twitter handle and let's know what you have to say as far as this is concerned. Please join us, shortly for the continuation of this discussion segment with our special guest.
Youth Weekly, euthanizing news.
We are part of the solution.
We bring you youth perspective on issues. Youths have a voice.
We have a story to tell.
Youth Weekly, euthanizing news.
Hello and welcome back. The program is still Youth Weekly on Youth TV Africa. Like we promised you earlier, this edition is a special edition. To continue with us in our discussion is a special guest in the house. He's special because he is an amazing Nigerian doing lots of good things. He's a writer, he's a speaker, he's a blogger, he's also an ICT engineer. He is the author of this beautiful book I have here, 14 Truths Nigerian Youths Must Know. The book is truly amazing. Before I tell you his name, I'll quickly read out some few lines in the introductory page. It says, "It's not a tale of wars, as there are still many dedicated and patriotic young people committed to contributing positively to nation building in different areas of endeavors." That's quite an inspiration. You're welcome to the program, sir. His name is Sheun Adiagbo, and I really want to ask, because I've been going through the book and have been really inspired. What was the inspiration behind this book?
Okay, I got the inspiration from the work of JFK. It's not about what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country.
That's right.
So this is what I can do for my country. This is what I can use to complement the transformation agenda of President Jonathan.
Yeah.
It's actually a gift to the generation.
Wow, that's very, very, very encouraging.
And if you want to communicate to your world, one of the ways to do it is write.
Yeah.
And it lives after you, when you've gone and all that. So that's very fantastic. I've gone through this book, and it's very interesting, the kind of content you've been able to put together at the time like this. But I want to know, what's the key lesson, key inspiration you want Nigerians to capture? What you would feel very fulfilled that they get out of this book, Yeah.
Thank you very much, Success. Like one of the truths in the book, truths for the 12, thinking out of the box.
Okay.
So every change, we're all yearning for change, but the change we're yearning for will start from within.
Okay.
So we need to start thinking out of the box. So our thinking has to change from what the government can do for me to what I can do for the government.
Yeah.
What can I contribute? What can I do? One of the ways by which our thinking has to change is to be a problem solver.
Okay.
To be a problem solver and not to be a job seeker.
So are you trying to say at this point that the major message behind this book is our mindset. We need to reorientate our mindset.
The change has to start from the inside.
Okay. Earlier you were talking about Project 500. I asked to hold up for when we come to the studio. What's this Project 500 about?
Okay, Project 500 is just a strategy to get this book into the hands of Nigerian youth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 500 is 500 copies of the book in each state of the federation, to be personally over to them.
Wow, good one.
So courtesy of partners, sponsors,
and donors.
Donors and institutions.
Okay.
So it's not going to stop there. They will be followed up by volunteers that will mentor them to actually carry out the actions.
Practical approach there.
Yeah.
One of the unique things about the book is a leadership workbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I saw that.
After every chapter,
there's something to do.
There's something to do.
Okay.
There's something to do. So the volunteer will ensure that every young person carry out
the assignment in the book. Okay.
Has the distribution started? Has it started?
Yes, we started during the unveiling of the book.
Oh, okay.
May 28th.
Okay.
2020.
It's okay. Thank you. There are issues around the world. People are wondering if these young people of our generation can actually rise to the challenge that we're in right now, in terms of government, in terms of our democracy and all that. You know, in some other part of the world, young people are doing amazing things. All right, we hear a lot about them. And in some other part of the world, like the Korean young person that is about 30, that is putting the entire world under pressure. You know, but let's bring it home now to Nigeria. Do you think we have a rising generation to meet the challenge of the now, or is there something you want to say about it?
Okay, thank you very much. That's where you and I have a part to play. We need to encourage other young people that they can do it.
Yeah.
If you believe you can, you can.
Okay.
So they need to start doing from where they are. One of the truths in the book is our leadership is now.
Yes.
So we need to break from the mentality of leadership is tied to. Leadership is not tied to.
Wow.
So anywhere you are, the part of the world, the part of Nigeria, you can start something. Leadership is influence. So you need to start from where you are with what you have.
Wow, that's very inspiring. Let me quickly, as we draw this to a close, what would you say to a youth if you meet a Nigerian, you're like, say one thing to this person, what would you say to Nigerian youth?
I would say to every Nigerian youth, you don't need the government before you can make a change. So you can start from where you are. Just look within. There's something that you can deliver. Just start doing it in your own little way. Like I did. The publishing of the book was published by Evans. I don't have a dime, but I went to meet Evans and they agreed to publish the book.
Wow.
So ask yourself, what are you selling? So you must have a brand, you must create value, and you become a product. So when you have that, then you become relevant in society.
I feel very inspired. I don't know about your success. Final words from you.
Yes, to our friends out there, young people like us, full of life and everything. My question to you is, are you a problem solver or are you creating the problem? Now, somebody has written, you perhaps can sing, you perhaps can write, you perhaps could rap and all that. Just get out there, whatever you can do, be relevant, make a difference. We can't do everything, but we all can do something.
Thank you very much, sir. It's nice having you in the studio. I was really inspired. As for me, I'll close with these words from my favorite book of today. It says, don't have a mindset that opportunities only come but once. Develop a positive attitude that there are always opportunities around. I'll leave you to ponder on these words yourself. We would like to have your comments and your observations. Follow us on our Twitter handle at YouthTV Africa and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouthTV Africa. From me, it's bye-bye.